I made a pen out of a Starbucks can, wrapped it in duct tape, and it makes the most expressive marks I've ever seen. Let me show you how I did it. So let's talk about how we make this cola pen. We're going to need some tape, obviously a piece of tin. I just use an old Starbucks can and an old paintbrush. You can use chopsticks if you want. You could use a pencil, anything that you might want to make a handle out of. This is just what I had. So I've drawn a shape here. Just going to cut this out really quickly. Make sure not to cut yourself. I know tin can be a little sharp, so you know, make sure that you're cutting out enough so that you give yourself room. I'm not going to cut that one off. But that's kind of what you want it to look like so that we can wrap it around our paintbrush lid. So the next thing we're going to do is fold it. And you can use some sandpaper if you want to sand these edges down. I'm not going to worry about that in this video. I kind of like it a little sharp. So that's what we've got. I'm going to make that shape right there. Okay, now that we've got our shape, we're going to wrap it around our little tool. And you want to make sure that you leave just a little, you want it to come up just a little bit, like into that spot right there. You don't want to cover it up. And then we're just going to put the tape on. Don't you just love this leopard skin duct tape? I don't even know where I got this, but it's kind of fun. You want a lot of tape on there. Oh, that's probably too much, but whatever. Okay. So now we have that part done. Next, we have to cut a shape. Now, you could draw this out. I'm not going to draw it out. I'm just going to cut it. So we want it to go kind of in a circle. We'll cut that end off. I think this one's really pointy. So I think I want this one to be a little bit more of a flat sort of edge. More like almost like a spoon shape. I want a different shape to kind of see how it works. I'm going to put a little piece of extra tape here because we got a little gap. I don't want the ink spilling out. Okay. Some people have put tape here, which I guess we could do as well. This one's a little bit easier. So let's just cut out a little piece of tape. Just to put like right here in the middle to kind of keep the ink reservoir. These aren't meant to look pretty. They're meant to be functional. Okay, so there we have it. There we have our another tool. So let's see how these work. So here we have our black velvet waterproof India ink. You can get this at Hobby Lobby, or you can also find it on Amazon. I'll make sure to leave a link. I got a shot glass here. I'm just going to pour a little bit in here, only because this gets a little wonky. I don't want to spill it all over my desk. Okay, let's start with the one that I made first. We're just going to dip that into our ink and make some marks. Oh, I love how it splatters. Like the unintentional splatters are kind of my favorite. But you can see how you can just move it around and make different marks. Sort of flat. But look at these really skinny marks you can make. It is a little unwieldy. It's a little, has a mind of its own. But you're going to have to play with it and kind of see. I just love how it, these little splatters that you get. I also love these little scratchy marks that you can make. And let's try this new one that we just made. Excited to see how this turns out. Let's scooch this up a bit. You see, this one makes entirely different marks. Ooh, I might like this one better. It's less splattery. This is just a fun way to make different marks. Of course, you can use You could probably use this watercolor if you felt like it, or a different colored ink. I'm kind of a fan of black. As you guys know, I love a bold black mark. So you can see that different tools or different shapes are going to make different marks. And you're going to have yourself a unique tool that nobody else has. And it's going to be amazing. Okay, so we're working on the Paul Rubens hot press paper today. Let's get out our ink and our brush. I think I'm going to start with this. Oh, I think I'm going to start with this one, actually. Start with the one we just made. Okay, so I kind of want it to come down this way and make like a sort of like a jagged edge. I'm holding it my tool very high up. That's going to give us the best marks. Ooh, that's really cool. Okay, let's come in with a little bit of this one too. All the marks. I kind of want to bring it a little bit through here. We want a little bit of a horizon. And people use these for calligraphy. Like, that's where I keep seeing it pop up most. I'm not seeing a lot of people use them in art, but we keep going. I guess we could. Actually, I kind of want to do some of these marks. I kind of like these, like, scratchy marks. Oh, that was fun. The random splatters are kind of just, like, giving me life right now. I don't know why. I'm not really a spatter person, but something about the flicking of this ink around and how just sort of random it becomes. Okay, I'm going to stop there. Okay, we're going to wet down the paper. And then I'm going to mix up a little bit of Payne's Gray, Cerulean. I think that's pretty cool. Sort of gray-blue color here for this area up here. You can see I got a little bit where it didn't get dry. So I did have a little bit of bleeding going there. Let that soak in a little bit. Let's add a bit of our English red in there too. Let that do its thing. Come in with a little bit of the liquid umber from Schmincke. And it's okay. I'm just going to kind of make these marks through here, and I'm okay with it going over, but I really love how dramatic those lines are. You can see where I went over it a little bit there. It's kind of going over the ink and changing the color a little bit. You could wipe that off, but I kind of like that effect. I think it's kind of cool. Let's add some of this sort of greeny color in here. And for me, I'm probably going to leave this pretty light. Let's come with our scraper and scrape back in a little bit. I think we need to fix the sky a little bit. Now that it's had some time to soak in a little. I got way too much water in there. Let's come in and just lift some of that color out. Mixed up a little bit of the umber color with the English red. Bring in just a little bit more drama there in the sky. Let's do... Okay, so I kind of like that English red going through there. What if we added some of the quinacridone burnt orange from Daniel Smith? Ooh, that's really bright. That's really bright. I kind of love it, though. And then, like it needs to be. Let's just get in there. Being a little wimpy with my color today. Love how those marks are showing up that we put in earlier. I'm gonna need some of this carbazole violet to mix in with this orange. I like these two colors together. This is sort of just a mixture of the two. Oh, that's such a pretty color. Switching up our brushes a little bit. We should add just a little bit of that up there at the top. I think I like that purple better than the orange, maybe. It feels like a rainbow almost. Okay, let's let all this dry. Okay, so I think I need just a little bit of color coming through here. So I'm just gonna make a mark. Just through here, just something light. It felt very stark and very white, although I do like a lot of that white showing through. I didn't want it to be just bare white. Just a little hint of color, and this is obviously gonna dry later. So we'll let it dry. So I'm going to come in with a little bit of oil pastel. I want some more light coming through here, I think. I'm feeling like it's a little dull. I haven't used our oil pastels. These are the Haya oil pastels from Paul Rubens as well. The Paul Rubens kind of day. I like adding white to the sky like this because it's pretty easy to do. And these pastels work really well on this hot press paper. I think my sky got a little out of control there. Okay, so I think I'm going to do this sort of ochre color. I'm not going to do too much. Let's sort of kind of work it out as we go. I just wanted something a little darker through here. It's feeling a little left out. Like I just sort of forgot about it. Okay, I like that. Does it need to be darker though? What if I added just a little bit of brown? I'm a little out of practice with my oil pastels because I haven't used them in a long time. Ooh, but I like that. Trying not to get too carried away. I want this to feel like they're coming up and sort of meeting that space. What if we came in with our lovely scraper tool? Just made a few marks through here. Add some depth. Okay, I don't hate that. Okay, this is like that sort of maroon color. It kind of just jumped out at me. I don't think I've ever used this color. I thought it might be good for a little bit of something, something. Ooh, that's fun. We'll just introduce a new color out of nowhere that makes no sense. Just a little hidden color there, right through there. We might need it in one more spot, maybe just a little bit of it up here. Okay, maybe else. I'm making my eek face right now. Eeks, what did I do? I never like to just put one color down and then just ignore, just random. It always feels like it at least needs to be in 2 spots, if not in 3. I don't know where else I would add it, so we're going to leave it right there. Okay, I'm going to take this is the Baked Earth from Derwent ink tints. I'm just going to put a mark through here. I'm not sure if it's going to show up on that black, which it did not, but that's okay. I just kind of wanted to make something. We've got a lot of black, and normally I make these marks with a black mark. But I feel like we need some uniforming fault lines here to kind of bring a little bit of it together. Okay, so here it is with a minute. I like it. I like it. There's lots of things I love. I love the marks we made with the cola pins. Um, it's so fun though. Like to make those marks is so fun. Like I love like this mark right through here is phenomenal. Like look how that kind of dips and comes down. And this is really good. I really like these shapes that are coming. Like this little shape that emerged is really fun. And I sort of like all this like sort of weavy area up here. I think is really cool. The scratching marks are good. I got a lot of. I didn't take my paper down very well. I'd probably bring it like here. Maybe get rid of that little splotchy over there, so I can bring in more of the scratchy marks over here. Like the marks with the tool, the metal rib tool. Like the little washes, the light washes of watercolor are really phenomenal. I think the oil pastel added a lot. I like the Daniel Smith watercolors that we put through here. Like this color right here is so good. I really like that sort of maroony color that I put in there just to add a little pop. I probably need to find one more spot for it though, because I'm feeling very like I go over here and then I don't go back this way. But I think we've got a good mixture of lines coming this way, lines coming that way. It's got some good movement to it. Atmospherically, I think it goes from light to dark really well. So we've got some, without being too dramatic. I think the sky is really cool. Yeah, very happy. Very happy with this one. Oh, I really like this part right here. Like how the watercolor kind of changed the tone of that ink when we went over it and just left this little black triangle. Fabulous. Love it. Love it. Love everything about it. So let me know in the comments, are you going to try a cola pen? This was a fun play. I hope that you're having fun playing with your materials. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks so much, guys. Bye.